Well, when we get into Wednesday night off into Thursday morning, that's when it could become a little dangerous with these wind chills getting -10 to -20 degrees. We'll go over the latest forecast, and I'll really dive into this forecast next couple of days coming up.
Clark County volunteers have transformed a daycare into an emergency center. We'll show you how they plan to keep the homeless out of the cold.
The new Congress comes to Capitol Hill with Republicans in control, though both parties insist they're ready to get down to work. I'm Craig Boswell. That story coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. Boy, it looks like winter and feels like winter has finally arrived in the bluegrass. It's going to be sticking around for a while.
No doubt it's here. And over the next few days, we can expect frigid temperatures. It will feel even worse with the wind chills that will be down there. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live now in our First Alert Weather Center with the details on what's coming. Micah?
Yeah, we still have a piece of energy to the north. That's giving us some flurries, a few flakes northbound, and it's not amounting to anything, but anything falling out of the sky, whether it's very light or very heavy, it is going to stick. It's still very cold outside, and First Alert Defender Live Radar shows you that. We can put this in the loop, and you can see to the north, Falmouth all the way through, say, Bracken County, back toward Maysville and Mason County. That's where we're still seeing those flakes fly, so this continues to drop southbound. Like I said, it won't amount to much, but it is very cold, so anything that falls will stick. 28 degrees there in Mount Sterling. It's kind of our cold spot right now. Covington at 26 is a little bit colder. Today's forecast. Flakes north, 33 degrees. But look, that is actually warm compared to what we're going to be seeing the next several days. Not just Wednesday and Thursday, but going off towards your weekend too. That's our focus of the forecast, was wind chills. And I'll show you how low we get coming up.
Okay, see you in a bit. Thank you.
Well, those dangerous temperatures have volunteers searching for ways to make sure everyone has a warm place to stay.
A new shelter is now open in Winchester for anyone who needs it during the next several cold days. WKYT's Mark Barber continues our top story team coverage with this report from Clark County. Mark?
You can still smell the fresh paint on the walls here at the Beacon of Hope. Volunteers here say they've been racing against the clock and the cold to open this emergency shelter before the dangerously cold temperatures settle in.
This is our men's room.
Michelle Bradford says they rushed to transform a former daycare on Talbot Avenue into an emergency center because many people in the area don't have a place to escape the cold.
We've got a lot of homeless in Clark County and surrounding counties, and it's getting really, really cold out, and they need a warm place to sleep.
She says when they opened a temporary shelter last winter, they had between 30 and 60 people a night, coming from as far as Powell County and Magoffin County. Bradford says, once again, it's bitterly cold, so they are opening their doors 24 hours a day to anyone who can provide a photo ID. Bradford tells us the shelter has been paid for by donations from the community. She hopes that here, in this faith-based center, people will find much more than an escape from the cold.
This place is just a place where they can come and find some hope.
Bradford says not only will the center offer warm beds and warm meals, they will also offer GED classes soon, as well as classes on how to fill out a resume. I'm told that the center is also working to bring in counselors who will help people who are staying here break free of drug and alcohol addictions. In Winchester, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And the city of Lexington is planning to open several warming centers today through Friday for anyone who needs to get out of the cold. You can find a complete list of those shelters at WKYT.com. And volunteers will brave the cold weather tonight to try to make sure that those in need have some warm place to stay. The Catholic Action Center will begin the Compassionate Caravan around 8 o'clock this evening. They'll give the homeless rides to shelters in Lexington and in Georgetown.
Now, in addition to frigid temperatures, the storm system is bringing heavy snowfall and ice to much of the nation. Up to 7 inches of snow has fallen in South Dakota. Temperatures could drop to 20 below zero today. In Minneapolis, the wind chill expected to dip to 30 degrees below. Parts of Texas have picked up to 2 to 4 inches of snow, leading to dangerous roads and many accidents. And Chicago, which already has sub-zero temperatures, is expected to get up to 6 inches of snowfall today.
And remember, you can help us track the winter weather. Send us your eyewitness pictures using the hashtag WKYT Rules Winter. And a Central Kentucky woman is accused in the death of a toddler answering to charges in court today.
3-year-old Alexa Rayleigh died in June.
And this was after Danville police say she suffered injuries to her abdomen. Her stepmother, Shyla Rayleigh, is charged with murder. WKYT's Victor Puente is in Boyle County with the latest on that case. Victor?
At Shyla Rayleigh's arraignment, we didn't learn any new details about the charges against her, but a bond was finally set in this murder case. Shyla Rayleigh is charged in the death of her 3-year-old step-granddaughter, Alexa Rayleigh. Kentucky State Police say the toddler died on June 23rd from blunt force trauma to her abdomen after being flown to UK Hospital. Rayleigh was arrested in December. Alexa's father lives here in Boyle County. Her mother lives in Lexington. The two had 50-50 custody, and Alexa was here in Boyle County when she was taken to the hospital. At the arraignment, Shyla Rayleigh's attorney entered a not guilty plea for her. She also asked the judge to set a bond. There hadn't been one yet because the Commonwealth's attorney was still deciding if they would seek the death penalty. Today they said they didn't believe they would.
At this point, we're not. Right, then the bond will be set at the $1 million cash bond as normally set for any murder case at this time.
Alexa's father, Alex Rayleigh, was here in the courtroom with his father, Shyla's husband. She also had several other family members who were here to see her arraignment. None of them wish to speak about the charges. In Boyle County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. And Rayleigh will be back in court February 3rd. A Central Kentucky woman is facing charges this midday accused of shooting her husband. It happened last night on Catlett Lane south of Harrodsburg. David Peevler told the Mercer County Sheriff's Office that he and his wife were arguing when she shot him in the arm and stomach. Sandra Peevler is charged with second-degree assault. Her husband was airlifted to UK Hospital. We do not have an update on his condition at this time. Well, it will be a day of pomp and ceremony on Capitol Hill as the Republican-led Congress returns for a new session.
Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is taking over as Majority Leader today. This is a picture of the new nameplate on his office door. And Craig Boswell has the latest from Capitol Hill.
On a snowy January day, the 114th Congress convened with 71 new members and Republicans in control. It's the most diverse group of lawmakers in history with a record number of minorities and women. At 30, New York Republican Elise Stefanik is the youngest woman ever to serve.
I bring, I hope, a sunny side of optimism to Congress and a willingness to work with people.
Stefanik and fellow House members are expected to re-elect Ohio Republican John Boehner as Speaker, despite some opposition from Tea Party members. On the Senate side, Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell is now the Majority Leader. McConnell is promising to quickly bring up the Keystone XL pipeline for a vote.
This is bipartisan legislation, so legislation that's got big bipartisan support in both the House and the Senate.
The long-stalled project to carry oil from Canada to Texas has support in the House, but President Obama has not said if he will sign the legislation that many Democrats and environmental groups oppose.
I'm not prepared at this point to issue a veto threat related to that specific piece of legislation.
After one of the least productive sessions in history, congressional leaders and the White House hope to find some common ground, especially on issues including trade, tax reform, and new infrastructure spending. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the House and the Senate will have 104 female members in this term. The state capitol in Frankfort is also bustling with activity here at midday. This is the first day of the 2015 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly. Lawmakers just convened at noon. As usual, the session will have two parts. The first 4 days will focus mainly on organizational work. The second part of the session begins on February 3rd.
Kentucky's First Lady Jane Beshear announced a fund drive for a new mobile cancer screening van this morning at the state capitol. The Horses and Hope campaign aims to raise $1 million to provide free or reduced cancer screenings. Mrs. Beshear says that Churchill Downs has committed $90,000 and Kroger chipped in another $25,000 for the initiative. The van will offer education and screenings for numerous types of cancer.
It's going to travel the state to provide breast, colon, prostate, head and neck, skin, lung, and cervical cancer screenings for at-risk and underserved populations throughout the state.
Now, since 2008, the First Lady has partnered with the Horses and Hope program to increase cancer awareness, education, and screenings in the horse industry. Well, we have a traffic alert to pass along to you.
Crews will soon begin overnight blasting on New Circle Road. Starting tonight at 7, the left lane of the inner loop will be closed between Versailles Road and Old Frankfort Pike. And then at 10 o'clock tonight, the entire road will be closed in that stretch for 30 minutes at a time until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And daytime blasting is getting back on track with 4 blasts scheduled today. Each time that happens, the inner and outer loops will be closed for about 15 minutes, so plan accordingly. Glad to have you with us on WKYT News. The search continues for at least 2 suspects who opened fire on 2 New York City police officers.
We'll have the latest on the manhunt next on Kentucky's #1 midday news.
Also ahead on WKYT, actress Cameron Diaz definitely welcomed 2015 with a bang. We'll have more on her surprise wedding coming up on WKYT News at noon.